Hey guys, just wanted to do a quick kind of after action report. Myself, Don Edwards, Greenline Tactical, we just got back from Chad Albrecht's School of the American Rifle, Armorers and Master Builders class over this last weekend in Elkton, Maryland. Man, words can't describe this class and really do it justice, but I'll make an attempt. I went in fully acknowledging that I was going to learn something. Um, Last week prior to going into this class, I thought I had a really good grasp of this weapon system, and probably at least to my peers and some other students attendees of classes, I probably did. I probably had a very good working understanding of that gun. However, coming out of that class, I'm like, wow, I really didn't know anything about this gun. I did, but there's so much more to this gun. A little bit, kind of the backstory. About 3 months ago, I finally, one of my teaching guns right here. This is an old beat up Noveske N4. It was built during the John Noveske era. He may have even put hands on this gun. It has well over 30,000 rounds through it, possibly closer to 40,000 rounds. It's got a cold hammer forged barrel, which is, many Noveskes have those. So, anyways, after almost 15 years of shooting this gun, finally shot the barrel out. Perfect opportunity to take this gun, tear it down, dissect it, gauge it, spec it, and install a new barrel. So I purchased a new barrel from Noveske, and it also came with a headspace bolt. So took that up there. We broke down this gun among the other guns in the class, and some really interesting things occurred. And I think this is a testament to John Noveske's attention to detail, his strict adherence to high quality parts and materials, and also remember this was almost 15 years ago when this gun was built. We did not have access to the same technology and manufacturing techniques that we have today, and for John Noveske to be able to put out guns like this and stand the test of time really speaks volumes about him and his company. And hats off to the guy. I knew Noveske guns were special guns when I bought them. I have 3 of them. My first big boy gun was a Noveske. This is just another one of them. But after dissecting the gun and looking at the internal components and seeing the wear pattern and the wear marks, these guns are phenomenal. They really are. And I just, if John was still alive, I'd freaking buy him a beer. It's just damn shame what those fucking Indians did. Anyways, so took this gun, dissected it. We took the bolt out. The bolt not only passed every single test with every single gauge and or kind of field expedient test that you can do. It actually looked better than a lot of brand new bolts from some other companies that I will not name because I'm not here to trash talk any companies out there. And I also understand, every once in a while a lemon gets put out. It's just the nature of statistics and everything like that. But the extractor on this bolt was better than the extractor on the new bolt. So much, in fact, I scavenged the older bolt and put it on the new bolt. And this is the new extractor in here. Spring tension was well within standards. Ejector tension was well within standards. The channel that the gas rings ride against in the bolt carrier group and all the compression that is needed is well within standards. Matter of fact, even after 30 plus thousands rounds, my bolt carrier group tested better than some bolt carrier groups right out of the box. It was amazing. And I told Chad, I was like, I've never changed anything other than the gas rings on this gun at about 20,000 rounds. So it did not necessarily get the scheduled maintenance intervals that some people say you need to get. I'm more of the shoot it till you break it thing. Never broke, never failed to shoot. So it was pretty cool. I donated the old barrel to Chad, so if you ever take a class, he's got it up there for educational purposes. It was well worn. Very typical of a high round count barrel. The erosion on the gas port was very noticeable, borderline extreme, but the gun never failed to shoot. It cycled every single time. The only thing was because of the wear and tear on the barrel, the group started to open up, and I was shooting about a 3.5, 4-inch group at 50 yards, and that's when I deemed it unacceptable for a training gun. So tore it down and spec'd everything. Again, the chamber looked really good, all things considered. And then we started testing the upper and the lower to make sure all the pin holes and spring holes and detent holes and whatnot were within spec, along with the trigger components and everything like that. See if those passed all the testing. Of course they did. No problems there. I've got a Geissele SSAE in here. It's a great trigger. It's got however many tens of thousands of rounds. There's nothing wrong with it. Spring tension on the hammer spring looked really good. No need to replace any of that stuff. So really the only thing that got replaced was the front sight post, gas tube, and bolt and barrel. Everything else good to go. Battle comp still rocking, still good to go. No problems there. And other than that, man, everything's look good. I'm running an A5 buffer system. This happens to be the Cobalt Kinetics, the CK A5 CK version. It's great. Having a mid-length gas system is, if you want to get really good life out of a gun and reduce the wear and tear on internal components, the mid-length gas system is gonna do it for you. If you're running a carbine length gas systems, that's fine, but a mid-length is going to reduce so many, like a sizable portion of the wear and tear on that gun. So if you have a mid-length, awesome. If you're thinking about building a gun, first of all, go take this course. Highly recommend that. And second of all, really look into a mid-length system, or even something more than a carbine length system. But if you want to reduce the internal wear and tear on the gun and pressures and increase that dwell time and reliability, the mid-length really, I knew it was good, but then when you dissect the gun and you see, mid-length guns versus guns with carbine length and pistol length gas systems, you really see the value in a mid-length. So, again, eye-opening course. I have many more questions now. However, Chad was able to answer every single question you threw at him. The value of this course is, probably 10, 20 times what you actually pay for it. His courses are highly sought after. It's tough to get into them. So book them now while you can. And there are discounts for cash, I will say that, which is really cool. You figure long training days, 12 plus hours in length, so first day we were there for about 12 and a half hours. The second day we were there for 14 and a half hours. They're long days. One thing I will say about this class, or another thing I will say, is, you probably don't expect an armorer's class to be fun, but I found it, I had a really good time. It was entertaining. I was never bored, which, curiosity drives learning. And if you're not curious and you're not having good time while you're learning, you're probably not going to learn very much. But I learned a whole lot. You'll walk away with some cool tools. So if you need to do like field expedient, maintenance on your gun, he gives you some really cool tips. And I'm thinking about, doing some curriculum development based around some of the things that Chad taught and showed us. It was great. He approaches things from a gunsmith, not necessarily an armorer. Armorers, all they do is swap parts out, really. Chad doesn't necessarily subscribe to that methodology, though there is a time and a place for that. His approach is one of a gunsmith. He can modify parts to work. He can show you different build techniques to get around certain tolerances. And you also really understand tolerance stacking much more so than I did prior to this. So this class is just, my world has been expanded. I was humbled, but in a good way. I definitely got into that learning and growth zone that some people talk about, and that's good. You need that every once in a while. You're going to get, one of the cool things is you're going to get an AR-15 gauge specifications, and it's got torque values and size for hardware and like go, no-go specs for different components and stuff like that. So he's definitely taken the time, years and years to, build trend analysis and catalog and all of his data and statistics, and it's great. But he's got, torque values and part numbers for roll pins and screws and hardware and where to buy them from. It's awesome. So if you are an armorer, a gunsmith, an aspiring builder, I think this class is absolutely mandatory. I wouldn't dream of building a gun. I'm not a builder per se, and I don't necessarily intend to be a builder. However, I do definitely intend to be able to repair my own guns. So this class is invaluable for a guy like me. But more contextually relevant, if you're an instructor and you're sitting up in front of students and you're seeing the amount of students and the amount of problems I see in guns from students, it will help you as an instructor be able to, tell students, hey, you've got this issue going on. These 3 or 4 things could be your fix to your issue. It gives me a better approach in how I can help students on the range, and it can give students a better, like a pre-flight checklist, or if you're doing periodic maintenance on your guns, it'll give you a great foundation in that. Like I'm not saying you'll be able to fix it per se, though you could with this class. You'll definitely know what right looks like or what wrong looks like, and then you can take the steps that you need to repair or replace worn parts or whatever. But man, I caution people on building life-saving devices like these without getting proper training. I'm a big proponent of formal firearms training, and if you're getting into building and stuff like that, that's formal building, so you need formal training for formal building. And in my opinion, there's nobody better than Chad Albrecht out at School of the American Rifle. So, God, look him up. He does small, 4 and 5 man classes, so it's quite the intimate experience. You're going to get a lot of one-on-one time, and you're going to do stuff to this rifle that nobody else is doing. Hell, I ground down. Wouldn't say ground down. I reprofiled and polished the feed ramps on this barrel. I mean, that's pretty in-depth stuff that your normal walk off the street layman cannot do. And I was doing it the second day of class, and I even helped some students with theirs after having only done it one time and seen it done once. So, and I got some great golden nuggets from this class. So look up Chad. Give him a like on Instagram, School of the American Rifle. Follow his stuff. He's got tons, probably months and months worth of videos on his YouTube channel, School of the American Rifle, and then also there's some good stuff on Instagram. But try to get into a class, man. It's well worth it. As always, guys, be safe and get some formal training, and I'll see you out there.